Alright, we got Tokyo in red and SoiGia in brown. Gonna give you guys a chance to look at the mini map. Looks like we have one crossing in the middle. One crossing. We'll see how this plays out. At times, the crossing count has been really impactful. At other times, the skill differential between the players has been too important for crossings to matter, and it's just been about speed and the kind of the quickness involved in getting your axers across the map, or slingers rather. You know, your standard tool units. For SoiGia, he's got access to a really nice lure here with these gazelle. You can get these to CC very, very efficiently. And the same thing for Tokyo. So the map's looking, at least initially, pretty even. Both players, I guess Soi has worse stragglers. Yeah, he definitely has worse drags, which might mean his pit is going to be a little bit later. But that might not be the worst thing for him. Like that's just a slight alteration, but he should be able to push these gazelle in pretty comfortably. This crossing is really easy for Tokyo to find. I'm sure he'll find that very quickly. If any past tournaments are any indication of how this game's going to play out, I think Tokyo's going to take the aggressive attack in these games. I think he's going to probably be attempting some form of crossing, be it with barracks or really early clubbers. I think we'll be seeing some forward barracks from Tokyo at least in the first game, and that's beautiful from Soi as well as. Actually, yeah, Soi's lure coming in a few seconds earlier. Let's see if yeah, it's looking pretty good for Tokyo as well. Both players getting a nice lure of their gazelle. Critical part of the opening economy in this series. As this gazelle patch is actually yeah, you're guaranteed to get one of these gazelle patch on the rivers. And it's almost always really, really close to your TC. So with a lot of villagers on wood. Yeah, and so here we see the straggler tree difference. With these two strags so close, Tokyo was able to already build a storage pit, and I think we're not going to see Soi's for a little bit. So he does have these two elephants here to work with, and another two down here. These are a little far from the lure, so I don't expect him to do those, but one of these at least, that's easily within range. This hill makes it a little bit challenging, but he should be able to do it. Yeah, so he's going to lure this. He's going to have to deal with the DE lure bug, so he's going to have to be very careful not to shoot it twice like that, because it will not. There we go. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. Any elephants for red here? No, Tokyo does not have access to any elephants in his near vicinity. He does not have that big boon to the economy, so this is going to be a big advantage for SoiGia. We're going to see how he transitions that advantage. Now, he is up 2 villagers, so maybe Tokyo is going for a really fast time. His town center is extremely clean with these gazelles, so we could be seeing some. What's this? We could be seeing. Oh, and the other alley true. This will be good. This will be very good for Soi. He's going to have a big food economy advantage. Now, Tokyo is sending 2 villagers across. These are most definitely going to be dropping a barracks somewhere here. And good morning, everyone. Or I guess for most of the viewers here, it's probably not good morning, but this is most certainly 6 a.m. for me. So I do apologize if my casting is a little dry. But we had a game start at 3 a.m. Did I sleep well? Yeah. That hour was... I got like one good hour in. And then my alarm went off. And I was like, oh my god, already? But it's okay. I woke up like really disoriented. But we're good now. I'm in it. Sorry, I need to pay attention. 23, okay, so 5 vil lead for SoiGia. He's gonna do defensive tool war. We need to see how this plays out. So Tokyo's gonna get that quick advantage of Axers out because he's already up. I mean, this economy difference is huge though, and it cannot be overlooked. If Tokyo doesn't get damage in with his rush, if he doesn't do damage, if Soi is able to wall this off before Tokyo gets in, he's just gonna have that 5 vil advantage, and the speed won't matter. If you invest in the speed, as TokyoGhoul has done, you need to get it to pay off. And maybe these barracks were placed a little prematurely, as they are pretty far away, and these axers are going to walk across the map to the left. Okay, I see them kind of going up. Oh, and scouts! We're going to be seeing scouts from SoiGia. I'm really excited to see how this plays out, because he's up against already upgraded axemen. So this might be just a little too late. He needs to get the wall off. So he got the wall off. So where's he going to get food from them? He's yet to build a dock. We're going to see fully upgraded scouts from Soi here. He needs to finish this wall off desperately. He's going to have time to build a bunch of farms back here, I believe. I think that's the strategy he's going to be looking for, and this is going to be really close. He's paying a lot of attention, though, so he's got to get this wall off up. Then he just needs to be able to defend this. Now, the problem with scouts is that they're more expensive, but only slightly more effective in combat, and by that I mean barely. I don't even think they are, actually. He needs to go and do damage to his opponent, but Tokyo's already... This is already a very different game from any game we've seen before in this series. It's going to be interesting how these scouts compete against Axers. And when they're picked off like this, with the mobility, the scouts actually seem to be doing really well. But they take a lot of damage in these exchanges. I don't know if he can fight head-on like this. Yeah, he must realize that. And he needs to get more food than his opponent. He's building another granary with all of his wood, so he's just going to be holed up in this little side of the map, building scouts. Will SoiGia get across the map is the question. He's building a dock. I would... Oh. What's this guy doing? He could actually get some critical info here with this Axer. Oh my gosh. Maybe a mistake from Tokyo is he let Soi get a bunch of free hits in. And now Soi's doing the same, but... Okay, a lot of these Axers are really damaged now, and Soi's repairing the wall at a reasonable rate. Okay, so Soi scouts are actually competing decently. Oh, and don't tell me that TokyoGhoul is transitioning into slingers at this stage. Oh no. So, if you don't know, scouts are just wildly effective against slingers because slingers can't get any armor bonuses. So, I mean, these guys have 60 health and they do 5 damage per poke, and with 25 health, that's a 5 hit kill ratio, whereas these guys will have, they currently have 2, but they'll get up to 3, and that's a 10 hit, so it's like a 2-to-1 combat effectiveness for a cost differential of 2-to-1 as well, but you get the speed, the scouts are a little bit better. I mean, the range on the slingers is always going to be a factor, but in terms of like melee units versus slingers, scouts are wildly more effective than Axers are. I'm really interested to see how this will turn out, as Soi does have a decent amount, and he has this hill in the middle of the map. I think he can engage here, especially because Tokyo didn't quite pay attention. Got this hill. It's going to be really important. But a lot of these scouts were damaged prior to this engagement, so he needs to be really careful. He needs to get more scouts out, like, really fast. If he's floating wood, that's not going to be a good sign, and that's why he's not floating wood. He's just trying to build on the sea, but SoiGia does have that 2-to-1 advantage, but this is going to be huge. The economy advantage for Tokyo currently is really interesting, and that's the difference between scouts and axemen. I mean, really, he axed, so he got across the map just way faster. You know, he pressured this economy, and now Soi's feeling it. He has to hide behind his walls, whereas Zhongni has been free to just do whatever he wants back at home. And these slingers still don't actually have any damage upgrades. Soi's dancing. He's gonna wipe him again. So the value from the scouts is coming out. Look at this kill-loss ratio for Soi. He's playing extremely well, and he's helping balance out this economy differential with the scout tech. Oh, did I just say Zhongni? I'm sorry. I meant Tokyo. I don't drink coffee. Maybe I should. This is the day I start, I guess. But the scout ships are going to be a really big issue for Tokyo, as he does not have any defense. Okay, he has one ship for his defense. 2 ships for his defense. Oh man. And Soi's taking a nice defensive fight here. He needs to find a way to clear this. This dock is going to be just such a nuisance for him. Soi's never going to be able to build ships. He needs to just go. I think he just needs to go attack. Or have 5 scouts ready and just YOLO a transport. I think he's about to YOLO a transport. There's about to be a transport. Yep. He's YOLOing. Go, 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 go. No! Okay, I guess 3's fine. Whatever. Just needs to go. Don't put any more on it. So 3's fine. You can keep 2 back to kill these slingers. But now, Zhongni needs to wall really fast. Is he gonna get the wall off? Oh, sorry, I said it again. Tokyo needs to wall really fast. Is he gonna get it off in time? Now, there's this wall. It looks like he's gonna wall off in time. He invested a lot of bills. Wait, there's a hole. There's a hole. There's always a hole. He didn't do red to red. So when you're walling, you need to go from red to red, and this is actually gonna be a game changer. The first economy damage that we're really gonna see on the land. You know, this timeline is gonna switch a little bit more in favor of of Soi. With 5 or so villagers going down there, this advantage for Tokyo is brought down. It's brought into line. Although he was able to swing some sort of advantage on the sea, and he opened his wall here. This, I think Tokyo's about to learn the pain of scouts. Oh no. Oh no. I don't see. There's always a hole. There's always a hole. And he has walled the hole now. But not after letting another scout in. And this is 3. So 2 healthy scouts and 1 really damaged scout. He needs to be really careful against these 2 slingers. If he can take down these slingers... Oh my gosh. Oh my. And on the sea, Soi is pushing forward with 3 scout ships against 1. He's knocking at the door. Oh no. And TokyoGhoul has lost a lot of villagers. The timeline is now in favor of SoiGia. He has done it. He has taken back the timeline, not the score lead, however. If that is any indication, score lead has yet to be won back. So we have to see how will SoiGia transition this. He needs to focus on this ship. Both of his ships are damaged. He needs to focus. Okay, he has a 3rd ship to come and help. What is Soi doing back at home? His economy is looking good. The fill count must be in favor of Soi at this point because Tokyo's just been losing, and meanwhile Soi is catching back up. Soi's back to 40. This is brutal. This is absolutely brutal for TokyoGhoul. He has no more ships on the sea to prevent this attack on this stone. Wow. Tokyo might be in a lot of trouble. He's forced to make some farms at home, and as he is invested in this food source, Tokyo sending one ship over, but this ship might be too late. If another horde of scouts comes in, he's gonna have to quick wall a lot of stuff. And there's nothing stopping Soi from building another transport because he has the sea control, and he's going to have 4 to 2 on the sea here, so he's going to have a clear advantage. And I see 5 scouts running over to the left here. I'm seeing another transport popping out anytime soon. He's not wasting time hitting these walls. Just a reminder, Shang walls with this extra health bonus just would take really long. I think we're going to see a scout pop out, or transport pop out of one of these bad boys, and we're going to see some crossings happening, some fordings. And now, okay, so he does have to worry about this. This is 4 slingers with upgrades, but his slinger count just hasn't been able to get anywhere because the scouts have been picking him off. And here's another transport. Now, Tokyo will scout this out with these ships. The question is, how can he react to this? I guess he can't. I think that's going to be game. I think when these guys land, when these scouts land, that's going to be game over for Tokyo, which is actually a really interesting upset. Just a reminder, if you're interested as to how these scouts are doing this, it's because of this. There was an update in patch 21322, which is how we're playing. I don't think it's over yet, but I do think it's over. I think Soi is going to have such a big lead now. At this point, this match is so yeah. Scouts currently cost 80 food, and they auto attack enemies. I was calling it an upset. I am calling this an upset, I believe. TokyoGhoul is much higher on the seeding. Oh, I didn't see these slingers. Hold on. Game's not over. You were right. My bad. This is a lot of slingers, but this is a lot of scouts. And scouts, yeah, scouts are just way more impactful. Yeah, that was a really nice game. Yeah, so for a second, those slingers look pretty good for him. But, I mean, just look at the timeline. Look at the swing on that. What happened there was TokyoGhoul had 41 vills, yeah. But he lost maybe like 10 of those, and in that time, SoiGia went from having 30 vills to 52, which is quite the villager. That's true. Yeah, that was a great game, so let's see game 2. I want to look at the kills. Look at that kill loss. SoiGia playing extremely efficiently. Alright, just hosting this real quick. Let me do the scoreboard adjustment. But yeah, that scout. So that was the first game that we've seen scouts in so far. Scouts with that. You're hearing that scout buff. You're seeing that scout buff in action in a tournament. I mean, so I've been talking to a lot of players, a lot of the competitors in this tournament, and many players were saying that they believe that scouts are going to be too slow in this setting. And for the most part, I think I might still agree. I think Soi was in a lot of trouble.
I'm in your town.
I think Soi was in a lot of trouble. I think that if Tokyo had gotten his barracks in a better location, I think he went straight across the river and just planted the barracks. I think I think you still need to be really careful with your barracks placement. I don't think you can just drop them like that. But who knows? Tokyo did get across.
Yes.
He played the aggressive game, but SoiGia had a 5 vil advantage on hitting Tool
Yes.
and didn't lose any of those vils for a long time. He was able to keep them all safe, and even though he ceded map control and the river early, he got 2 of them out, 2 vils out to go fight on the for the sea, like with the dock. So we're getting ready into game number 2 here. We have Tokyo in yellow on this side and SoiGia on red. So last game SoiGia went for scouts. Tokyo going for axers. Let's see if we can get maybe some different unit choices. If I had to guess, I would say that Soi's going to probably play a similar strategy, especially with his map. So if we take a look at this, this is probably the easiest wallable map that you're going to see for a reverse 1v1 game like this. Look at this. He can wall here, he can wall here, and he can wall here with a ruin, and he can wall here with a cliff. This is maybe a 12 tile wall map. You build one house, your barracks here or something. I think Soi's looks for this kind of thing. Soi as a player, generally speaking, tends to go bigger rather than like smaller and faster. So I think we're gonna see him find these quickly and wall this before Tokyo can get aggression in. The question is, I think it's important not to undercut Tokyo. I think after last game he might learn some. I mean, it's also important to remember that Soi had an elephant and Tokyo did not. I think that was really impactful because scouts are really expensive to tech and do, and with that elephant he actually had the food to do it. And he locked himself in like a little corner of the map, and then he farmed with a forest, just one forest, and then he built granaries and farmed in there. I think that with Tokyo having access to an elephant, he could potentially get a much faster time this time around and get a lot of damage in with axers. Or, I mean, again, Tokyo is not a bad player by any standard. Tokyo is an extremely strong player. So maybe after seeing the scouts, he might try a different strategy. He might go right away for slings and not waste time with Axer. He might stick with Axer full on rather than transition into slings. I just think versus scouts like that, you can't afford to do a tech switch because they're so punishing if you fall behind in military. And so when he switched to scouts, he really struggled. So let's see what's going on here. Equal across the board. Both players here are going to be very strong with the early economy. It's unlikely we're going to see large mistakes happen. Now, this time around, Soi does not have nearly the good gazelle lure he did before. I think one of his gazelle has gone around like this. And there's another one stuck in this tree line right here. But he will be attempting a really long range Ellie lure. And with the bug on DE currently, this might be a bit problematic for him. Let's see if he can get this. Again, 1818, everything looks fine. The Ellie lure coming in at nearly the same time. So yeah, had a little bit of trouble. He had a slightly longer Ellie lure to go with. Tokyo has easy berries to fall into to support a rush. Berries are really nice when you're doing axe rush as a secondary food source because it's really mindless. Like you just drop the granary and it's handled. You can have food for a bit, especially when you have map control and you can afford to just go for that. So if you look at the mini map right here, yellow's villager has just crossed the only crossing. So I think we're going to be seeing more aggressive barracks from him, and this time, this is a much better barracks placement, as it's really close. Like, this is a lot closer than it was last time. So he's going to be able to pressure Soi much earlier. Now, if Soi doesn't recognize this, he's going for a dock. Interesting. If Soi doesn't wall this off in a timely fashion, these axers this time around could be a lot more problematic for him. Because I believe Soi is going to be doing the same strategy as before with a 23 villager tool time, maybe 22. We'll see if he pops out a 23rd. If he does, he's going to be in for heaps of trouble because Tokyo is going for 18 again. So I think Soi is also just doing 22. Oh man. And the clubbers are already out. This isn't even close to being walled. I think this is going to be very problematic for Soi. He's going to have to recognize this threat and wall this fast. Oh, maybe he didn't scout this fully. Yeah, he didn't scout this ruin. He doesn't know about how easy this was to wall. So I guess that part of the map is kind of irrelevant now. So this clubber is going to get right in on the entire economy, and it's going to get a lot of information for Tokyo. Now, oh man, he went 23. I guess that's a boat, yeah. So is this going to be brutal for Soi or not? He's going to have to house wall his woodline for now, which is always fragile. And because of the timing on this, we need the house wall at this point. This is a lot of clubbers. This is a lot of clubbers that are getting a ton of info, and he's finding space. Now the difference is, Soi has... Soi has... See, this time around, he has 2 docks. And Tokyo's going full land aggression. These axes are upgraded. The scouts are coming out once again. So we're going to be seeing basically a mirror matchup. This time a villager died, but the rest of the situation is actually dramatically different. And let me paint this picture for you. The reason that this is really different is last time this happened, when Soi had this house wall being attacked by axers, he had plenty of space behind it to build a granary and farms. He does not have that luxury anymore. He's going to be solely dependent on these 2 docks to produce enough fishing boats and food for his scouts. And as you can see, he doesn't have the armor upgrade yet, whereas Tokyo is running 2-2, and he's already losing some villagers. Tokyo getting the damage in early enough. There was a almost 10 vil advantage, but that has now been dropped to 9, and with... No, 8, sorry. And with the scouts now getting their armor bonus, who... Soi's feeling the pressure here. He's running out of space. He's gonna get a good food income though, and without a dock, Tokyo is gonna struggle to shut down the scout pump. This is a lot of vills on wood too, so we're gonna be seeing a lot coming out from this dock in the next few minutes. Tokyo, yeah, so I really need to build a house, and there he is, finding vills from Tokyo. Now, remember, a vil kill on Tokyo is far more impactful than a vil kill on Soi, as Soi lost a few vills, but he had way more, so percentage-wise, it's less of his economy. Now, Soi pressuring these villagers successfully and getting 3 villagers across the map. This is actually pretty interesting. With these 3 coming across the map, he can paint a new stable and force... Oh, looks like he already tried that. And force Tokyo into a really bad situation. Here's the minimap really quick. This game is going to get messy fast. As you can see down here at this section of the map, there are 3 yellow axers scouring the map for where Soi could have run. I don't think he realizes quite how trapped Soi is. And Soi currently doesn't have a way to stop this. I would, honestly, at this point, I would love to see an archery range and some bowmen to repel these axemen. I think bowman scouts are going to be a good combo for Soi here. The timeline is basically even, but remember, a lot of these are axemen for Tokyo, and these axemen aren't going to get anywhere for some time. These axemen are pretty useless for a bit. They're applying a lot of pressure, but they're not going to help him defend. He does have his villas walled in, and he's walled in his berry boys. Oh, did Soi lose more villagers? No. Okay. Alright, holding the hill. That crocodile proving problematic. This attack here is still going pretty slow. But slow and steady, as they say, right? Soi up to 28 vills now. Wasn't that 27 before? So that means he's up to a much larger economy. And is he going to be holding the sea? No. So this scout ship battle is going to go in favor of Tokyo. And this is something that, for Soi to win this set, he needs to win the sea right now. He's investing a lot of wood. He's investing his economy heavily into the wood side of things, whereas Tokyo's really getting the mill count up, and he still has the mill lead. So it looks like this time, not transitioning into slingers is probably his best move he could make. Oh, is he? Am I about to lie? Is he about to transition into slingers? And now this is 2 ships coming across for Tokyo. So Soi needs to be producing scout ships at this point. Tokyo idling some axers around the map. Maybe some oversight. But these axers here will really pressure these fishing boats, so he needs to pay attention to this. This is his fragile economy. 30 economy for Soi. He's still going up in economy. But he is behind on military still. Now the mobility of the scouts on Tokyo's land will prove extremely useful for Soi, as the axers just simply cannot do anything against scouts if they just walk away. Oh man. Ooh, Tokyo is getting a lot of damage in. Soi's falling apart here. He's cracking at the seams, it seems. Oh, I didn't like that. Cracking at the seams, it seems. Scouts just don't seem to be enough at this stage to deal with the axers. I mean, they just aren't. They don't trade effectively. Still 30 vills for Soi. But I think that number has gone down. Yeah, okay, wow. With all of his food income on the run, he's going to drop off all of his production for scouts. And that's going to be the end of the game, I believe. Where did the scouts go? Yeah, they're just... See, his only army, they're really hurt. They can't accomplish much here. So he's going to need far more ships. If he can somehow secure the sea, but he's fighting from such a deficit already on the sea, I don't see how he can accomplish that. Oof. He's really got to watch this house wall, or this tree wall. He's in danger of over-chopping. Naval battle is important, but Soi has the health deficit here. Tokyo with the health advantage will push back Soi, and all of Soi's economy is going to drop, and that's going to be oof. That's when you say that's an oof. Oh boy, that's an oof. And another scout for Soi dying.
Yes.
And that's a GG. That was a neat game. I think that just showed kind of exactly as I was saying before. If Tokyo can get a better barracks placement in a slightly faster time and he can get the clubbers into the fragile, or not the fragile economy, but into the economy of Soi before he makes a large enough space safe. I think if Soi had been somehow able to even wall off a little bit more, like maybe around to his TC, we would have seen a lot more farms and far fewer ships. And I think he would have had a much better time. But alas, Soi was unable to do that, and so we're going to go to game 3. I'm excited about that, though. Best of 3s go to the third match. It's always exciting. And wow, this time the kill is 2-1. in favor of Tokyo. It's a large differential there. The Vilhai going to Soi, but unable to convert the economy into military power on the land, especially with that delayed start. So without much delay, I would like to get into game number 3 of this series.
Yes.
And so he says, I need one more Ellie. That's funny. It's really funny. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the tournament. This is the Classics Cup, the first tournament in the season. Just doing some Shang 1v1s.
Yes.
Yeah, a big point about that actually was that Soi had really bad Gazelle that map. And that may have been a determining factor about that, but you know, that's the game. You gotta convert the map into a victory, right? You need you be able to find the food and make the right choices. Are you gonna go for the dock? Are you gonna go for not the dock? But anyway, I'm excited to see how game 3 will turn out. Scouts are just a waste of resources. That's a bold claim. So I did win the first game with scouts, right? We're going to a best of 3, and one of the players is exclusively creating scouts. Maybe they aren't a total waste anymore, especially with the recent buff. So we're just giving Soi like 2 minutes, and then, or not even 2 minutes, just like a minute. And then we're going to get right into game number 3 here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of options. I think if Soi had considered building an archery range inside of that wood line, it would have cluttered things a lot, yes. But just like 2 bowmen to deter all those Xers would mean that he could then delete the wall and push out a bit and expand the wall and give himself space to farm. I think that would have helped his strategy a lot.
Yes.
But, you know, sometimes you don't have the wood for that maybe because he had to fight the sea. Alright, we're going to start here. And this is game number 3 of this best of 3. Tokyo as yellow, spawning up here at 12, where his opponent, Soi, spawning at 4 o'clock on this map. Now, once again, the immediate things to notice are the gazelle points and the berries, if the players are going to go for those. So we have the berry start for Tokyo. It's the pretty obvious choice for him here. Now, his gazelle are kind of awkwardly behind this tree line. If he accidentally walks the wrong way with his villagers, he might be in danger of scattering these like awkwardly to the other side of the tree, which this is kind of what happened to Soi last game, and it could cost him like 150, 300 food, maybe 450 if it's bad. Now, Soi, on the other hand, has a really clean gazelle this map, and he has gone for the berry start, so he's going to have enough food. This is basically enough food to hit Tool pretty comfortably. An elephant makes it so that you can build units like immediately, right? Like you're going to have a surplus of food as you hit Tool. Now these 2 elephants are well within range. You can kind of avoid the hill as you lure them. It won't be too problematic for him. On the other hand, Tokyo does not have any elephants, and that might be the map difference that Soi needs. However, this time around, Tokyo has a very wallable map, and maybe he'll scout this and opt for a different strategy. I'd be interested to see if he continues with his aggressive cross the river, drop a barracks, pump out clubmen, go axers strategy. It's worked in one of the games. And on this game, I believe if he did it again, he'd probably win again due to the openness of Soi's map. If you pay attention to this, like look at this. Soi really doesn't have a lot to work with. This whole section here, like that we're kind of X'd over with the in the minimap, this whole boxed area is just wide open. This whole area is wide open. There's two crossings, one here and one here. What? Like how can Soi possibly attempt the scout strategy and maintain a safe economy in the way he did the first game? I don't think he'll be able to do that again. Especially with this map. This is the least wallable map so far. I think if he... I want to check the economies real quick. 14-14, everyone's even. Nothing to see there. What's going on? This is a really early scout. And it's going to get boned? Oh, and it gets caught for a second? Alright, that's a really low HP scout. And he might be able to disrupt. He might be able to disrupt this. Oh no. This would be devastating for Soi. Kill it. Kill the Vil. Bone him. Bone him. Oh, that was a golden opportunity with the downhill bonus. He could have just destroyed that villager, which would have really helped him out because this is the villager that's gonna build that barracks, but it can't really anymore. As long as Soi stays vigilant and keeps his villager chasing, this villager can never build a barracks. He's gonna have to run this all the way home. And there's a threat here. With only 2 HP, he's gonna die on one hit to the Crocs. So he needs to be really careful about where he runs. He also needs to make sure he doesn't run into any lions. My gosh, this is going to be really interesting. So let's check the timelines. 20 Vils for Soi already and 18 for Tokyo. Tokyo has been doing 18 Vil rushes each game. I fully expect to see him go 18 Vils again. And I know I said this a while ago, but look how two of these Gazelle have scattered to the south of this wood line, and it's really awkward for him to recover this food. With how awkward Tokyo's map is here, well, how low food Tokyo's map is here, it's wallable, but he needs to get this food to his town center. And look at this roundabout jank ass Gazelle lure. He's gonna struggle with that. And the villager finally dies for Tokyo off into the corner of the map. I was wondering when that would come to fruition. Now, did Soi scout his elephants? Now, another villager has come across to build this barracks. Now, Soi, with 2 gazelle pools and 1 berry, will have enough food to contest in this game, but he's doing, once again, 22 Vils to 18 Vils. Soi, a much bigger fan of the slightly larger economy rather than the speed of an 18 Vil rush. The 18 Vil rush is like super standard for Age of Empires. A 22 Vil, it's awkward because you don't quite have enough to just fast bronze off of it. You're not gonna have enough wood income, and you're not gonna have enough food income. So you're still committing to defending the tool fight from a tool age, but you're a little bit slower. So it's basically saying I'm gonna play defensive at the start and hope that my superior economy can overcome the lack of speed. And this is what I like to see: aggressive granners. You know, Tokyo had a low food map. He built forward with his clubbers. He's going to send them over. He explored all of this happening. He knows where this gazelle is. So he's just going to send these clubbers in. He's going to hit tool in maybe like 10 seconds. And he's going to be really problematic. Here's the tool age. They're coming across, and Soi's not walled in yet. So the first upgrades that's going to come in is the defense upgrade, and then these clubbers can have some sticking power on these villagers. And let's see it. So the clubbers see it. There's a hole in that wall. That's a big F. And there's the defensive upgrade, and the extra upgrade will be just a few seconds behind. And once that comes in, I think all these villagers are going to die. He's going to wall in the villagers with these Xers to be Xers. If they don't have Xers yet, if he can micro this... Alright, so he wins that, I think, with 1 villager alive at the end, right? Depending on the Xer timing. No, with both. Okay, so the Axer upgrade didn't come in, and he does need to finish his wall off. Do not let this fall. The scouts are out with 2 damage. Soi's running a really open map here. He's going to have to play a really wide style here. He's going to just have to focus on so many things at once. This is a really tight game. He needs to repair this. Man, this is insane. The economy's probably evened out a bit. I think he lost 3 vills. I think he lost 4 vills then, right? Now, with the +2/+2, okay, so Tokyo does not have the +2 damage. That means that currently the scouts are going to trade really, really well for Soi. Until that damage upgrade comes in for Tokyo, Soi is just going to have a huge advantage in these fights. And you're just going to see it. They're just going to mop up these axes. Look how little damage they're doing. 3 a hit? That's nothing. Oh, and he found the villagers. This is messy. This is really messy, but I think this favors Soi for a little bit. But the scout ship from Tokyo will probably confirm for him that... Oh man, and that's a lot of wood invested into nothing right now. So can Soi find any damage here? He does find 1 vill. Kind of off and on his own. There might be some danger of overchop in the near future, but for now, those villagers will stay safe. And it's up to Soi to find a way back into this game, because currently his opponent has access to food in the near future. For now, both are kind of food dry. This game might stagnate out a bit as both players attempt... SoiGia is going to be attempting to build the dock somewhere to contest this sea. Whereas Tokyo will need to invest in some fishing boats for some time because the scouts are going to deny most of the land. Where did the scouts go? So both players are kind of stagnating here. I think Tokyo's a bit out of food. If he can kill one of these fishing boats. No. Wow, Tokyo was so on top of this game. Look at, did you see that reaction time? The second it showed up, he was ready. I mean, maybe he was really lucky and he was looking at that spot at that moment. But that being said, that's skill. You know, that's really good. It's impressive. Now, let's check the timeline real quick. So it's stagnated in favor of Soi, but remember, he's the one with a few scouts on the map. And currently, scouts aren't going to do anything at this point. All of TokyoGhoul's economy is here and on the water. Tokyo has no other villagers on the map. And Soi is just desperately trying to get a dock up somewhere. He needs a dock somewhere. Now, this pressure will be really problematic for Tokyo. If he can stall enough villagers' chop time, he can potentially threaten the sea, because he has less villagers chopping wood. Oh, no. He has way more. Sorry. It's just that neither player has access to food right now. So we're going to see a little bit of a stagnation. Things are going to mellow out for a sec. We can talk about strategy and how players are going to move forward from this point, because basically they've evened the scoreboard. It's hard to see who has the current Vill advantage. I would say it's in favor of Tokyo by far, because now he has food. Now he has food income. I think we're going to start seeing scouts come out. Not scouts, more axers come out. And this villager off to the side is going to be a big boon for him, because he can start doing some stuff with this. But yeah, the axes are coming out to kill the scouts. And another axer out. So he has to be super careful about overchop. That could be devastating. Oh man. Soi poking away at some houses, some yurts, some huts of Tokyo. 3 scouts here, all kind of damaged. This is a big part of the map though right now. Whoever can get sea control early right now. For Soi, it's imperative that he shuts down the food income right here, because this is all he has. He being Tokyo. Tokyo getting up to 20 vills. You know, this is going to get problematic for him. If he can't shut down this food income right now, there are just going to be too many axers for Soi to deal with. Oh my gosh, and two vills get walled out. But at the same time, an axer gets in on the wood line. This is pretty mirrored. On the sea, Soi with a distinct HP advantage. Both players streaming from their military buildings on this side of the island, or this side of the map, to this side of the map. Soi, finally noticing the threat of these axers, will run. These very hurt scouts. Oh no, the villagers running right into here. Is this exactly what Tokyo needed? Okay, these axers dying here is actually really bad for him. But Tokyo getting even just a few axers across the map, you can see the damage that he's able to do with much less food. Alright, so now the scouts are just going to be too much. This is way too many scout ships. And the scouts are now free of these axers. And Tokyo's going to come up here. But what does Soi do with his scouts? This is what Tokyo... This is Tokyo's worst nightmare here. This could be the end of this game for him. However, getting it on this wood line as it's open, forcing Soi to run with even more villagers. Soi is running into dangerous territory of having a very, very small economy. He has the military advantage in scouts and scout ships, but he doesn't have very many villagers, and he has very low income for both resources, wood and food. But that's gotta be GG. That's gotta be GG. I think Soi just won. No food income. No more axes coming out. You can do one scout at a time. I guess if this scout ship comes across to here... Are they about to meet in the middle on the crossing? The scout ship is actually going to be really annoying for... Oh, wait. He turned back. So there's this one axer, and that's one scout ship, and that's basically it, right? Other than this little economy that is currently open. Wow. Timeline. Heavily in favor of SoiGia. This is incredible. This is another villager. Jeez. This is crazy. The scouts. Oh man. And with the quick law from Tokyo, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe this isn't over. But the timeline, the economies, the military counts. Look at the kill loss. Heavily in favor of Soi. His scouts just everywhere, and all of those fishing ships going down. It's just brutal for Tokyo.
Yes.
And there's the GG. He knows. He sees it. He can't do anything from this position. And he resigns. And to me, that is a surprise. Full disclosure, of his own